Thank you, Sahani sir and Dr. Devesh.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. This is the 1643rd day of continuous webinar conducted by International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy. Today, our guest is Dr. R. Valavan. Let us begin the session with 1 minute silent prayer. Thank you all. The International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy comprises of homeopathic lovers, students, and doctors. We have 3 sessions every day. The first session of the day is already over in Hindi from 7:30 to 8:30. And from 8:30 to 9:30, we have the international session in English, and from 9:30 to 10:30, the local language session in Malayalam. We are uploading the videos of the same on the very next day itself so that those who missed the session can watch it again. You can share it with your friends as well as homeopathic doctors, students. And the purpose of this forum is to take homeopathy to every house around the world. And let me come to today's guest. We have a wonderful guest in Dr. R. Valavan. He has completed MD in homeopathy, then MBA and PhD in also. He's a PhD holder also. Dr. Balavan is the head of the scientific medicine and regulatory affairs at Shawab, India, and the Indian arm of the Dr. Wilma Shabe Group, Germany. He has been in the field for about more than 20 years in this field, and with the extensive experience in planning and supporting drug development projects, clinical trials, and non-interventional studies, he specialized in phytomedicine and homeopathy. Since he has MD in homeopathy pharmacy, as well as MBA in international business and PhD in natural product chemistry, that is phytomedicine and phytochemistry, he plays a key role in providing medical scientific support for the organizational and strategic initiatives while delivering expert medical advices. So not only that, he has written 3 books and more than 300 articles in papers, including few revived publications. Dr. Valavan served as the chief editor for 2 medical journals, and is the part of editorial board of 3 others. So he is participating actively in professional and social organizations such as Indian Homeopathic Drug Manufacturing Forum as a president, a Liga Medication of Homeopathic International Pharmacy Drug Group, and Noida Homeopathic Doctors Society as the vice president, and ATS General Secretary of the Ram Pushpat Foundation, that's the founder. With over 24 years as experience in healthcare practitioners, he brings comprehensive experiences in managing both acute and chronic patient cases also. Today, Dr. will be talking about the small scale in research and clinical practice from idea to publication. So let us proudly welcome our guest of the day, Dr. Balaban. Welcome, Doctor. You can trust.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Danesh sir, for introducing, and congratulations to you. And also thank you for continuously conducting these webinars for more than 1,400 something. And this idea of this topic came because many clinicians used to ask me this question, that how we can do some small work and which can be published in journals. So with that idea, whatever I suggest them, I provide them support from my personal perspective as well as from Schwabe India's side. I put together all those information here so that it can be useful for clinicians who are research oriented, who are interested to publish papers in research journals. This is about a very basic, broad perspective about how homeopathic research has been. If we look at basic research, there are a number of researches going on, and especially many people are aware that the nanoparticle research, and there is one electromagnetic wavelength research. Then apart from that, there are many other in vitro, in vivo, plant-based studies are going on. So this particular section may not be useful to the clinicians, may not be applicable to the clinicians for do simple studies. And particularly clinical study, if we look at observational study, RCT, randomized control trials, retrospective studies, and if we look at the demographic study, the studies which clinicians can also do, usage of homeopathy, how much homeopathy is useful in that particular area, is used in that particular area, that can be conducted. And disease-based usage can also specifically conducted, that we will see after some time. And these two, the top two, observational study and usage of homeopathy, these can be done by clinicians as well, even if they are not associated with any organization like educational academic institutes or pharmaceutical institute or research institute. Even without that, they can do these studies. And retrospective study also can be done, that also we will say. I'll give detailed information about that. And then disease-based usage, like what is the usage of this particular medication in this particular disease, or maybe in particular disease, what are the frequently used remedies. Such kind of information can be taken out from the clinical data which they have in their clinic. And this is a very broad overview about the steps involved in research studies, starting from the identification of research problem until publication with future research recommendations. I don't want to go much detail into that. I'll just focus on the simple processes which can be easily done at a clinical setting. And this is these are the challenges which we generally face in homeopathic research, starting with infrastructure and environment or ecosystem, and availability of funds, training and exposure, and more importantly, the willingness to conduct research. These are some of the challenges which are multi-dimensional in nature. If generally there is a saying that I mean, if a person has willpower, he is willing to do, then there is a way. So definitely, if the willingness is that is not a challenging problem, then all other challenges can be overcome easily. And before going for any study or publication by clinicians, ethical consideration is much more important. It has to be first ethically what can be done, what cannot be done in a clinical setting. That has to be defined, that has to be looked into. Then further it can be moved forward. For example, whenever a publication is done, even by a clinician or anybody else, if, for example, if it is more like a clinician using a patient data, for example, if I have in the last 10 years, I have a case record of maybe 500 case sheets. I want to take a data compiling that in these 500 cases, how many cases of this particular condition I have treated or I have seen, or for example, diabetes mellitus or hypertension. Then apart from that, what are the drugs, most commonly used drugs in these 500 cases? So if anyone wants to analyze their own patient data, patient record, then it should be anonymized before converting into manuscript and also publication. That is very important factor as part of ethical consideration. Then obtain consent for case reports. If anyone is intended to publish one single case or 2-3 very interesting cases which the world needs to know, or which the clinician want to present in front of the world, then in such a case, if it is isolated case, then the informed consent from the patient needs to be obtained. It is nothing, I mean, a small format written like, okay, I agree to publish this my case in any reputed any journal or something. That needs to be obtained, even if there is an image of a patient or if any other identifiable factor is involved, then consent needs to be obtained from the patient. Then apart from that, if when there is no ethics committee approval is obtained, if it is based on the anonymized patient data, then there is no ethics committee approval required, because getting ethics committee approval is a very challenging job for a clinician. So in such a case, many journals agree, they accept if the clinician gives the ethical exemption declaration, then they would publish that. So in a small one-page A4 paper, it can be mentioned that since this particular analysis doesn't contain patient data, specific patient data, then the ethical committee approval is not required. Such kind of declaration can be given. Then apart from that, if any data protection law is present in the country, then that has to be followed. For example, GDPR and HIPAA, these are some of the laws pertaining to European Union or America, US United States of America. We have in India, there is a digital data protection law, and I guess that is the applicable law or parallel law in India, which has which gives guidelines that where how the data of the patient to be protected. Then apart from that, there is a clinical trial rules and other small supportive laws are there. So that needs to be followed and complied. And these are, I'm just putting up some thoughts, some ideas that where a clinician can draft a paper, or do a small study without getting the clinical studies ethical committee's approval. I mean, a few ideas I'm just putting here, like for example, retrospective studies can be conducted, retrospective observational studies can be conducted with de-identified data, for the same what I have shared just now. I mean, taking out data from different people, and then after taking the data, then that can be analyzed and that can be converted as a manuscript into a manuscript, and that can be published. One example I'm giving here, that determine the prevalence of allergic rhinitis in your clinic. You can do that easily. What is the prevalence? If I have in the last 6 months, I had approximately 100 patients, for example, how many patients were with allergic rhinitis? And that can be done, because there are many in many areas, many conditions are prevalent. For example, recently I came across one particular area where a chronic renal failure was very prevalent. So all of a sudden, in the last 3-4 years, it has shot up like anything, and the nearby hospitals are accumulated with the patients with renal dialysis, and they are increasing the facility of dialysis also. So that could be a similar kind of study can be conducted. Then in that case also, the data must be anonymized with no direct patient interaction or the detail to be provided. And case reports and case series, as I said, that a single isolated case, if it is very interesting case, then that can be taken out and published in a journal. When such case reports and case series are published, there is one guideline in the name of home case care guideline. It is a homeopathic case report reporting guideline, which is published by Dr. Robert Van Hazelen. This gives a very comprehensive checklist to publish such case reports, starting with in fact it is given in a manner, in a format of a manuscript itself. So it is very easy to make it in a manuscript style, including the title, keywords, abstract, introduction, patient information, and then the clinical findings and timelines. These are specific to homeopathy. And then diagnostic assessment, therapeutic intervention, what kind of therapeutic intervention given, whether it was individualized or a formula or a kind of specific drug, condition specific drug, all those things to be can be checked. And then how the follow-up and outcomes are there, that also needs to be looked into before publishing or when during the process of preparation of manuscript. And this checklist would be very helpful. And this paper is I think it is open access. It can be easily available from the respective journal, Complementary Therapies in Medicine. And then treatment audit or quality improvement studies can be done. For example, a kind of survey within the clinic can be conducted, a retrospective review of patient satisfaction and symptom relief in a particular disease, like chronic migraine cases managed homeopathically. So how many a particular kind of case was seen? For example, if it is migraine, then okay, the last particular duration of period, 3 months or 6 months, this much number of patients came, 25 patients came, then how many patients were satisfied, something like that. If it is acute, then can be a shorter duration, and if it is chronic, then definitely, for example, in case of migraine, it has to be a longer duration, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Case records can be pulled out and analyzed, and that can be converted into manuscript. And since it is a purely internal assessment, EC approval is generally not required in such cases. And further review articles can also be very much possible and practical. For example, based on the experience, how homeopathy can be helpful in case of a particular disease. Like here, I have given the example of recurrent respiratory infections. So a doctor can give his own experience in a particular condition. And here also there is no patient data involved, so no EC approval is needed. And then apart from that, we come across many papers, many articles in research journals. A letter to the editors and commentaries are also many times given in a very lengthy way, a kind of article, proper article. So that also can be done. If, for example, if there is an interesting study published, then based on that study inputs, what the doctor's own experience, that can be narrated in the form of letter to the editor or a commentary. And since it is not a new research, there is no new data collection is there, it is just sharing the experience, general experience, so no EC approval is required in this case also. And then this is also almost similar kind of thing, but not like how I said in the previous suggestions. Here it can be a kind of a general experience. For example, a decade of experience in treating pediatric eczema with homeopathy. It is a general experience which can be narrated, and it can be very clearly given. A doctor's experience and his vision can be clearly given in the form of article, a paper, and that also doesn't need any kind of such ethical committee approval. Then there can be a proposal of a new theory or new hypothesis, that any emerging disease can be taken, that okay, for this particular new disease, for example, COVID-19 came, then recently there is another disease came. So in such cases, what is the role of homeopathy in constitutional medicine, or a particular remedies role that can be proposed as an hypothesis. So here also there is no requirement of ethical committee approval. And of course, the surveys and questionnaires without the patient specific data can be done in that particular area. For example, if I'm practicing in a particular place, Delhi, then maybe in my part of Delhi, the location of Delhi, how much people aware about homeopathy, how much people have used homeopathy, how much they accept homeopathy for such and such disease, any disease. That also can be done and published in a good journal also. So finally, if we look at in general in all these examples, that if there is no patient data, particular specific data, patient's data is protected, then definitely there is no requirement of ethical committee approval, and it can be published. Then if we look at some studies, some simple studies with ethical approvals, there are independent ethical committees available in different parts of the country, and with a very cost effective way, there are many ethical committees provide ethical approvals that okay, you can do this study, this particular study in your clinic, and they give the ethical approval, and with that approval some studies can be done. Maybe drug proving can be an option. There are many drugs which can be proved. For example, Murrea Koinagi, we use them in day-to-day life. So these some of these day-to-day usage food items which are very safe can be done with drug proving study. Like Murrea Koinagi is Kadipatta. So that can be definitely that can be used, and there are studies with the Murrea Koinagi stating that stating its health benefits. And then spinach could be another option. Cumin could be another option. So this can be. Then apart from these, if these are already there, surprisingly there are some people who did some work on these herbs, these these things which we are using on our daily basis in our daily culinary. So if these are available, then this is, I mean, I want to convey here that there is a database, provings.info, which contains almost all the provings conducted in the world. All the provings of homeopathic drugs conducted have been updated in this database. So just if you go and search, you can identify whether this particular drug has been already proved or not. So when I was thinking in that way, I came across an interesting article. Then I just an idea came to my mind that why not tandoori chicken? Can we do a drug proving of tandoori chicken? Then I came across this particular report stating that a 12th class student died after eating tandoori chicken. So maybe there are many people after eating tandoori chicken, they developed some kind of some acidity or some other problems, digestive problems or non-digestive problems. So maybe doing a tandoori chicken as drug proving would be helpful to treat such cases who take tandoori chicken. There are many other drugs, even we give Naxwamika, Arsenicum album, Pulsatilla, but that could be a specific drug to take care of the symptoms after tandoori chicken. Maybe there is a possibility. So like that, I mean, different ideas can be developed, and drug proving can be conducted at the clinical level. And when conducting the drug proving, just I'm giving an overview that there are protocols like CCRH and LMHA protocols. Being in India, we have to follow CCRS protocol primarily, and if required, then LMHA also can additionally be followed. Then in such case, institutional ethical committee approval, IEC approval is required. Then registration of that study, of such study, to be done at CTRE, Clinical Trial Registry, India. Then it should be ICH GCP compliant study. That means, I mean, there are certain guidelines in the ICH GCP, like you have to have a protocol, and you have to have a proper already finalized, I mean, a frozen case report form, CRF, and informed consent form. And when you draft the protocol, then a very clear definition of inclusion, exclusion criteria, and the milestone, what are the parameters you would be assessing in each milestone, all those things to be defined as per the GCP, Good Clinical Practices Protocol. And apart from that, there are a few more points which which can be just to have an idea, as I said, that inclusion exclusion criteria, at least 2 different demographic areas to be involved, then enrollment of provers to be properly defined, then training to be given. So all these things to be done, and at least 2 potencies. Then there are how to give dosage. Everything is defined in the CCRH model protocol, and the same can be followed, adopted by any person who is proving. Then apart from that, there is a kind of organization, IPRH, Initiative to Promote Research in Homeopathy. They have published a small booklet, priority areas for research in homeopathy, where they have listed out many such ideas to conduct studies that covered about homeopathic principles, fundamental research, clinical research, paramedical tools, using paramedical tools, drug development, standardization, drug proving, agro-homeopathy, veterinary homeopathy, homeopathy market research, like that. I mean, they have given n number of many ideas, at least a few, at least 100 or 200 different ideas that can also be useful. One can go through that, and that book is available in Amazon Prime, and the Kindle edition is free of cost. No need to pay anything for that. So maybe I request everyone to go through and you can get more idea from that. And if you look at how to publish the studies, basically initially actually a journal selection and formatting the manuscript is the primary job in the publication. First thing is target the right journal. You have to choose the right journal. If you just prepare a small manuscript, I mean the preliminary manuscript, the first draft of the manuscript, especially the abstract part, starting with the title of the article, then background, methods, methodology or materials and methods, then the results, discussion, conclusion. If you make a small abstract, then if you just copy paste that in certain platforms like sciencedirect.com, then that itself would provide many options of Elsevier or Science Direct that you can publish in these journals. So you can choose any journal which is free and which is with open access. You can choose any journal, and then you can just go through and you can publish in the journal. When going before going through the making the manuscript, finalizing the manuscript, there are author guidelines given by each journal that has to be seen, that has to be gone through meticulously. Then based on that, the manuscript to be converted. I mean, they used to give the word count, reference style, how a reference of the references are provided, then the table formats, everything has been given in that. So accordingly, the manuscript need to be modified and adopted. And then a standard citation styles, reference styles like Vancor or APA. However, there are different styles there, and based on the guideline given by a particular journal, that has to be modified. And then plagiarism is very big challenge today. Many people used to copy paste from different sources in this digital era, and then they make their own articles. So that also need to be avoided. And there are plagiarism checking tools like Grammarly, just or Turnitin. Just you copy paste your article, then that would show how much plagiarism is there. Many times we write our own language, or we just imbibe from some other source. Then easily these tools would identify those plagiarisms and they would highlight. So accordingly, that need to be changed. Then when writing the manuscript, these are some of the points need to keep in mind, that using very clear and concise language, not giving a very, unnecessarily large information or paragraphs. It should be crisp and concise, and the objective to be very clear. For example, in case of opinion-based articles also, the points have to be the points which we are highlighting in the manuscript have to be backed by some evidences. And if some supporting papers are already published, they have to be quoted, they have to be referenced in the manuscript. That would strengthen our point. And in majority of the cases, the journals prefer to write in active voice rather than passive voice. Instead of writing "it was observed," they prefer to be written as patients responded well to treatment. And then before submission, a proper meticulous proofreading would help to avoid minor errors. Many times it happens that we do many proofreadings and we think that, okay, now the manuscript is very perfect. But still, when we go at one last time, then we find out some grammatical errors or some language, bad language, which we can always improve. So such kind of things we come across even at the last moment after many revisions. And if there is some conflict of interest, anybody has provided, for example, if a particular pharmaceutical company provided fund to study a particular formulation or a product, that particular product, then it is not necessarily that you should always come across, you always find the result, make the result in favor of that particular product. It has to be actually it has to be a very neutral, very ethical kind of study. And even if some financial sanction has been given, that has to be mentioned. And also to be mentioned that even though the financial support was given, but there is no involvement of the particular organization which has funded in the results. And then the contributions by other people should also be acknowledged by in the manuscript itself, that okay, even a person who helped in the manuscript preparation, he has to be given credit. And after publication, also there are certain responsibilities there. Some journals, what they do, they have reviewers who may ask for revisions, and I mean, in such case also constructive feedback to be given. And then reader engagement also is another important aspect. I mean, if anybody gives a feedback or review, that has to be considered in a professional way. And then apart from that, based on the findings, whatever is published, always there is a scope of future research based on what has been already published. For example, if a particular drug proving study has been conducted and published, then next step would be clinical verification. And then after that, it should be, apart from clinical verification, there could be some other clinical experience publication. So all these things can be done. And these are some of the online resources related to homeopathy, like homeobook.com, homeopathyjournal.net, researchinhomeopathy.org, homeoin.org. It has a huge number of literature of homeopathy. hpathy.com is also one of the important ones. similima.com, which has been converted now as homeobook.com, and homeopathy home, homeopathic.com. These are some of the online homeopathy research resources. And then these days we have youngest AI model, LLM, large language model, ChatGPT. This would also be very much helpful, and it would be helpful to prepare the manuscript as well. But also there are tools available which can identify how much AI has been used in the preparation of manuscript. So don't completely depend on AI models like ChatGPT, which can be identified by the tools, and journals would reject such kind of manuscripts, or they would send back for the revision of the manuscript. And these are notable international and national journals, peer-reviewed indexed journals like Homeopathy, which is well known, and the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, International Journal of High Dilution Research, Physica A, American Journal of Homeopathic Medicine, Homeopathic Links, Indian Journal of Research in Homeopathy, which is CCRH's journal, and Advancements in Homeopathic Research, again, India-based journal, Journal of Evidence-Based Homeopathy. This journal has been published by us, recently launched by us. It is a peer-reviewed journal, and it is open access journal. No publication charge is collected. Indexing and UGC CAR listing is also in process, and the journal, I mean, manuscript can be submitted in this link schwabeindia.com/jbh. And with this, I thank you everyone for your patient listening. And in case of any query, question, you are welcome, please.
Thank you, Doctor. A very nice presentation and very well informed. So we are now planning for a journal for our homeopathic medicine new journal.
Oh, great.
We are planning to start in the March, but due to the technicalities and researchers this much, I don't think that I was taken the charge of that because now only I am going all through these things, and I find that it is very difficult to do all the things.
True.
So in addition to that, I am doing the all the these videos, each and every videos for last many years, daily update, posting the whole three videos per day. So tomorrow it will be in the in the platform. You can see in the YouTube platform. But I think that it was a great thing you are doing. It is very much helpful for us. We are planning that publication, and so it is very difficult for us to get the actual manuscripts, the workout manuscripts. But nowadays we already said that there are so many tools they are checking. So each and every spot, if there is any similarity with other thing, that may be rejected. So many hurdles are there. So I am asking, Doctor, how we can do it easily.
You are asking about publication of journal?
Yeah, publication of journal.
Right.
The nutshell.
Right, yes. Sir, doing easily is, I mean, based on what we have learned from this, just think that it is easy, that's it. When you move ahead, then you would face definitely some challenge. Even if it is easier or difficult one, you would face some challenge. But if that determination is there, then definitely we can move ahead. Even yes, we have been facing the challenges even in this journal also, in indexing and listing. But I mean, we are definitely moving ahead on the positive direction, and we are closing many aspects, I mean, many open points one by one, day by day. And yes, I mean, as you rightly said, getting articles, manuscripts for the journal is very difficult. Even if it is we don't charge any publication fee and it is open access journal, but still people do not come forward easily to submit the articles. That is a very big challenge. True, I agree with you.
Thank you, Doctor. Anybody want to ask? Very nice person, Dr. Sridharapuram. A great personality. So you can ask now. Just I shall. Unmute, sir.
Dr. Kuru, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you can answer.
I was working.
Please close the. Okay.
Dr.
Manoj.
Audible?
Yeah, you are audible, but we cannot. Please close the this.
Close
your page, sir. Your page.
Right.
Your presentation page.
Yeah, I'm just closing that.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I like to ask one question. See, I was working last more than 30 years. I worked in CCRH. But so far, I thought today or tomorrow there will be the answer for the question that homeopathy is not scientific. What fundamental research what you are doing, and CCR is also trying. I know there are so many people are trying, but so far there is not result. What in your side? That means Swabe is one of the leading company. What you are doing regarding that subject, and what about the achievement within that? I'd like to know.
Right. Yeah, definitely, sir. I mean, research is always a teamwork, and it would be fruitful. We can achieve the success only when we have the right collaboration and right partner. And yes, we have been right. We have collaboration. We have MOUs and collaborative works with different organizations. Approximately 15 organizations, 15 big institutes. Even day after tomorrow, we have a meeting with your organization also, CCRH. With DG, and there is another external organization. Due to ethical reasons, I could not disclose it right now. Other very big organization who would be doing a very basic fundamental research. And apart from that, we have in fact in the past also, in collaboration with CCRH, we have supported for their study with IIT Bombay, that nanoparticle study. Even in the first one also, even the recent ones also, many other ongoing studies going on, and to that we do. Then apart from that, with Amity University, we have conducted some studies, we have published some studies. Then with DY Patil University, which is there in Pune, we have conducted some studies. Then with collaboration with AIMS Bhubaneswar, and with AIMS Rishikesh, we did some studies. And apart from that, there is one Gurukul Kangri University, which is 100-year-old university from Rishikesh. We did studies with them, and it is a continuous process. We keep on doing good works with them. Some studies are very fundamental research for homeopathy, and some studies are not fundamental, but at the same time they also unearth something related, something in homeopathy. And as you know, that the challenge, very big challenge which we have been facing today is, if I put that in a very broad perspective, it is something like we do not have any tool to prove the globe is earth. Sorry, the earth is global in shape, right? And I just wanted to recall that the earth was considered as a flat surface. Then when the ships were developed, constructed, then it was possible to prove the earth is in the shape of globe. The same is true with homeopathy as well. As of today, the science has not developed, the instrumentation has not developed to prove what is there inside homeopathic dilution, and what is the exact mode of action and pharmacodynamics of homeopathic high dilutions. That is what a very challenging part today. But we are hopeful, and definitely we are sure that maybe it may take some time. We cannot say that in 10 years or 15 years or 50 years, but definitely we would reach a stage where we could be able to identify and characterize what is there inside the homeopathic dilutions.
Whether this Swabe company is taking particular separate research regarding that, the fundamental research, that is why I like to know.
Sir, it cannot be only Swabe itself can do, because we do not have such instrumentations. For example, if those studies which are done by IIT Bombay, because they have such instrumentation, because they utilize that for many other purposes, and a single organization cannot invest so much of money into that. That would be, then there won't be any scope for further researchers, more researchers. We have to do in a collaborative way. So in that way only we have been doing.
And one more, if there is time, then I'd like to ask one more question.
Sure.
Because in other system of medicine, example, allopathy, Ayurveda, and etc., they are funding, the companies are funding so much to the research organization or individuals. What you can also do it, whether you are doing some funding to that particular example, CCRH is giving funding for such organization and this, that I know. But what the companies are like that. You are one of the pioneer most in the world, we can say. Then what step you are doing and you are supporting such researchers or not? That is my another question.
Very, very, very valid question, very right question. And all these collaborations which I have just now suggested, all those studies were funded by us only. And as far as Schwabe Group is concerned, globally, they spend approximately 200 million euros, 200 million. If I convert that into INR, it would be I exactly I cannot count it now, but many crores of rupees have been funded globally. Then apart from that, if I take Schwabe India, we also do heavy fundings for these projects, whatever I have listed down with the many collaborative institutes. I mean, the funding is going on.
Okay, thank you, because there are so many other people also in the forum. Let them to ask questions. I stopped. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. The class was very good. Come again in our platform. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Manoj, you want to speak?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Danesh and Dr. Valavan. I think I have a request to you, doctor, because whenever you mentioned about the homeopathic medicine, kindly never mention as dilutions. You can mention about its potencies. Why we using these terms? Then homeopathy never uses any drugs. We only uses medicines. That's a big difference between homeopathy and system.
That's a very good perspective, sir. That's a very good perspective. I agree to that.
Yes. So that point is often creating unnecessary problems. Dilutions. This is no, Hahnemann himself mentioned to underestimate homeopathy. Somebody mentioned this as dilutions, which is not at all dilutions. It's potencies. That is a revolution in the medical science. Then another thing is that being the part of this Wilbur Schwabe company, we were very proud because there are no other companies in the world, I think, today, of the history of more than 200 years. Am I right?
Yes, that's it. It's more 150 plus years.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, yes, you can say that 200 years, because there was only one company. The first ever homeopathy company was founded in 1835. And that company was also acquired by Schwabe Group. So that means the oldest company also is with Schwabe.
I think no other companies in the allopathy system of 200 years old. Is it there? I don't think so. So it is up to you to take the leadership also, because you are the master. First, you mentioned we make the German pharmacopoeia, and we all know that Germany is still emerging as a strongest economy also. Then again, India also, the third, fourth economy. Definitely. Then, moreover, we have to design a separate mechanism so that the homeopathy, research methodology can be accepted. The case studies are most needed, not case control studies. That's totally false. It is not at all possible for homeopathy. That's the most important. Thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. It is more than a query. It is a suggestion. And yes, I completely, I listen to your suggestion. And I think the future, the other respondents, I think it is, the queries are deviating from the topic, the title, which is given as a lecture, to some other topic. So I request the future queries, if any, to please focus on the topic which was discussed.
Yes.
Because I just joined, that is why I just started, because of the interest in homeopathy, and moreover, we must concentrate on the entrepreneurship. Homeopathy, what is needed is entrepreneurship. Okay, thank you.
True.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. Yes, it was an excellent session from Dr. Balavan about research as well as the need of publication of these research work also. How will you correlate about this thing, the research work as well as publication? Whether the publications are enough to make aware of the public also?
It is a question to me from your side, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Right. Yes, if you would ask me about the research publications today and around 20 years back, I see a very tremendous change. One is digitalization. I mean, in 2003, 4, 5, I used to collect the papers, I mean, the published articles by Dr. Kudabaksh, by Dr. Dr. Sukul, and some of the finest, even the French researcher, I'm forgetting his name. And those days, the availability of researchers' access to the research papers were very difficult. And I still have a bunch of papers. One by one, I used to collect whenever I go. There was one Dr. K. Srinivasan from Chennai. And I used to visit his place, his library. I used to ask him that, is there any paper on this? Then Sankaran book, Elements of Homeopathy, also had a very good number of research papers we used to collect. And there were good papers, but not known much outside. But in today's scenario, there are many papers, many publications, many people come forward to publish their papers. And it is many journals are there. Before, many journals do not accept homeopathic articles. Now many biomedical science journals are accepting homeopathy articles. So there is a drastic change, and it is definitely a very good sign for homeopathy. At the same time, as always, there will be some weeds as well. There will be some poor quality papers also would be published, and as a researchers or as any research oriented mindset person would easily identify such researchers, good researchers, and utilize that.
Yes, thank you. Another question is that very recently there was an editorial in the paper, the Hindu, and it was written there that the homeopathic medicine are poisonous and is doing much harm to public and as well as those who use this. But unfortunately, it is a wrong statement. And whether companies like you, the Mashabe, has moved to the court for any against this kind of movement, because this is we as homeopaths have a limitation. Our organizations are doing a lot of work to correct the mistake from the Hindu, but as we know that it is the biggest threat they are facing from homeopathy. That's the reason why the modern people, the so-called modern medicine people, are working in such a bad way to de-promote homeopathy. What's your opinion on that? And what kind of step, as a person from the medicinal company, what can be done, and whether you have moved anything for that?
Right. Here, I would quote a statement said by Dr. P.N. Verma, late Dr. P.N. Verma, that it deserves to be ignored. And that is a completely, I mean, they, at many places, they quoted Drugs and Cosmetics Act, and without basic understanding of Drugs and Cosmetics Act, that particular rule about 106B and other things whichever they have mentioned, and it is unnecessarily, I mean, they do not deserve any kind of any attention at all, I would say. But at the same time, I mean, we have been with diplomatic discussions with some authorities to take care in different ways. I mean, publicly putting a statement and other things would unnecessarily, the people who do not know about this also would come to know, oh, there is something like that. So it doesn't need to be dealt in that way, and it has to be dealt in a different way only. And any public, they don't deserve any public statement or comment to be given.
Exactly. Otherwise, it will reach to more people. That
Yes, we unnecessarily create negative publicity.
yes, yes, but in the meantime, we can go to the court and try to ask for some penalizing them for some money or something like that.
Yeah.
Or that kind of work we need to do. As an organization, we are doing such work. But of course, you people are the leaders in the medicinal companies. And one of the next presenter is Dr. Madhusudana Panikar in our Malayalam session. He is a person totally using your medicines. And he is a bulk purchaser of homeopathic medicine from your company also.
Okay, great.
Okay. And he's from Kerala and will be practicing and he's practicing at LP.
Okay.
Says,
Great.
yes, Dr. Hibbert, you can speak and then.
Hello, Dr. Valan.
Yeah.
We have more than 2,000 videos already we have published in YouTube.
Great.
So daily we are doing three, four.
Three.
Today also we will do 6 videos.
Oh,
So
that's great.
So how can make it more public with your help?
So that is actually a job of a digital marketeer. Unfortunately, I'm not a digital marketeer. I mean, there are ways and means how they are promoted. People do that. And I honestly do not have any comment on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, now I invite Dr. Indani Bhavatkar to.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for allowing the question. Sir, during publishing our publications, is it necessary that we should have a copyright for it to make it safe? So can you guide us for that?
Copyright. You're asking about copyright, yes?
Yeah,
Like,
for our research and publications.
Yes, definitely. You should choose a journal which give copyright to the authors. And yes, there are possibilities that many journals they retain the copyright with the journal. It is always better, even if particularly when it is a new invention or new information which is published for the first time. In such case, it has to be, I mean, the copyright has to be with the authors, number one. And then apart from that, there are different types of copyrights available. One is you can have the copyright, at the same time you can allow the users to share freely the articles under Creative Commons copyright platform. That you can do, I mean, you can choose, but the copyright should be with you. I mean, for example, I have a new invention and I am publishing it, and a copyright should be with me. But it is my choice to whether allow the users to utilize, share it freely, or only based on some fee I should allow.
Very true, but is it necessary for every research and every publication? Is it mandatory or no?
It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory.
It is at our discretion only.
Yes, but all the good journals initially, I mean, during the process of submission itself, they would ask and they would take the.
As you are in the field, is it necessary to have an ISBN registration to be done?
For the books, yes, ISBN is for the books. It is for the books.
Yeah, and is it also mandatory or it is on the author? Depends on the author.
It is not mandatory. I mean, anyone can publish anything, but having ISBN number would add value to the book.
Okay. Thanks for your guidance. Yeah, thank you. You have explained us very well.
Thank you.
I invite Dr. Hibbert to say what are thanks to the session.
Because we are in the way, but you are guiding us from your vast experience. I was very much impressed by hearing your age and your wisdom directing me, because we are in the way. So we are today also we are talking about the things what to do for the IFPH journal. But we have to constituting a group, and now yesterday, tomorrow I have to study. Today I have to study what are the things you are showed us, because from your vast experience, we got a very fantastic knowledge. So thank you very much for this. I think that is it the first time you are coming, or this is the
Second time, sir.
Second time.
Yeah.
So we will go through it. And we will ask next time, we will ask more and more questions and you can guide us. Thank you
Sure.
very much, Doctor. Very
Sure.
much,
My
Doctor.
pleasure.
Dr.
Thank you.
Valavan, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hibbert and Dr. Valavan, and those who attend the session. Tomorrow we will have a session from Dr. Vipha Medeva Sarma, and she will be talking about ASIS, an analytical group study in homeopathy. Thank you, Dr. Valavan, once again, and those who attended the session. Tomorrow, please join at the same time using the same link also. Thank you all. Good night. It's over to Dr. Mariamma John to moderate the Malayalam session.